making King Shark and the Weasel and Scribblenauts Unlimited here from Suicide Squad. Of course, that's the second Suicide Squad movie. I feel like I am going to love this, ladies and gentlemen, because I obviously loved the first time that we created from Suicide Squad. We made all those homies, Killer Croc, Deadshot, everybody. So anyway, let's go ahead. We start off with a monster as the source object. That's very fitting, isn't it? On this color texture pattern library or whatever, we'll go to the 14th page. There's this sort of patchwork design, and we want that to be for King Shark's shorts, because yes, of course, we are starting with King Shark. If I did not say that already, Mothman coming up here, and we're just going to take that torso. Going to go with a diaper right after that, and the diaper's always kind of been a good stamp for me to use when you want to create characters like shorts or jeans or just something, if you need that part to be on the torso or around the waist, basically. Tiny, that's one of Maxwell's mini brothers in this game. We're going to actually attach this to the top grid, like the arm grid for the monster. In Scribblenauts Unlimited, that monster stamp or character as a source object, it does have two different arm, let's say, movements, so the arms will have where the hands are, and then of course where the biceps are. And so we attached it where the biceps are, and a great white shark, we can take that dorsal fin to give King Shark his fin, and so we should be able to create this all as one object. A lot of the times in Scribblenauts Unlimited these days, so that I could get every single detail, I would create them as two separate objects, but this one we get to do as one, ladies and gentlemen. Thank God, it takes us less time, but hey, it's nice just to have that one object, not have to attach the head if we don't have to, obviously. Hopefully you noticed, of course, the treant leg pieces are for the legs of King Shark, but we've got Wart coming up right now, as we had Dot and Cuttlefish. There was like an arm tentacle piece that was sort of near the Cuttlefish's head on the top. That's where we took for the other eye. You need that perspective of like a quarter turn view, and that's why we used a walrus's body, to be this like head of King Shark, that basic head shape, because we're not looking at King Shark completely sideways, but we're also not looking at King Shark as if he was looking head on directly at us or anything like that. But we did reach the stamp limitation, so that's why I said sometimes we do have to create them as two separate objects, like a head and a body, just to get past that stamp limit. Yeah, it's Scribblenauts Unlimited, but it has a limit, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, this is the properties editor. You edit health and all sorts of things about your character. I like to read background information and fun facts when we get to this part of the video, so let's do it! King Shark is a shark. Anybody get that reference? I don't know. Anyway, throughout the different iterations over the years, King Shark has had different appearances, as well as different origin stories in some cases. But today's King Shark appearance here in Scribblenauts, it's obviously based on the Suicide Squad movie, that second movie, which I believe comes out today, right? For most regions of the world. And I have every intention of watching it. I actually really, really loved the first movie. The funny thing is, I may actually watch it after I record this, but before I upload it. Often stuff is recorded in advance, but uploaded on the weekends for me. But we've essentially made our King Shark and Scribblenauts reflect King Shark as best as we can. We'll be applying things like a behavior script that has him set to eat, and then he eats human. That's the category, so he'll eat people. But we also set the scripting tool up right now for when this object goes in water, then it will add an adjective and set that adjective is fast, and then it just waits a set time and we'll remove the adjective. We basically want King Shark to swim fast. This is all that is, because King Shark is a shark. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you obviously see a spoiler of the next character to come. We'll show you how to create Weasel as well. That was in the title and the description, but look at me. I got my little King Shark, like pet or whatever. I get to ride on top of him. We'll explore more. We'll see everything they can do, all right? We just want to create Weasel, of course, starting off with the Yeti as the source object, and we do need to create the head separately for this one. It was mostly just because the face or that head object is going to take, I guess, a lot of stamps for my all the details that I want to include. And so anyway, we got the Yeti source object for the body though, and the cat tail was for its actual tail. You just need to attach that to the body and everything. A lot of everything else, we've used these stamps just like so many times. Amphisbaena, that was for the foot of Weasel. Really, the reason for picking the Yeti was we did want something that was like tall. It wasn't going to be like the short, sort of almost chibi look that Scribblenauts has for most of its human characters. So I wanted something tall, but we do need to obviously shrink it down a little bit. It shouldn't be as tall as the Yeti, but what I mean is, when I say tall, I guess I just mean the proportions of the body. So, it doesn't need to be all chibi. We want the legs and stuff to be tall standing, but we don't want him to be so like fat and large looking, but he does need to have maybe that little beer gut sort of look, and that's why the Yeti was really good for that. Kind of have this beer gut dad bod Weasel, right? And so the Weasel head looking absolutely derp, which is what I wanted. Weasel, great character, but you do need to make sure, of course, your head object, if you ever create them separately, go down to the equipment tab, and can be worn on the face like glasses is what you want to fill in down there, kind of near the bottom, one up from from it. And yeah, so that's the properties for the head object, but we will obviously show you those properties for our body object. This will make sure that we display all the behaviors that we hopefully want for Weasel. But you know what? Let's talk about it. Background information, fun facts here. Weasel. He's not a werewolf, okay? He's a weasel. He's harmless. Actually, many of y'all can even just assume he's not completely harmless. Hey, he's apparently killed like 27 children according to Rick Flag in the movie. This weasel-like humanoid is seemingly very stupid. And I'm sad to say that I'm not as familiar with the DC Comics lore because I really just love these creature-like villains like King Shark and Weasel. I'm fascinated, to be honest. From everything we can see, however, Weasel seems to have the instincts and behaviors of an actual weasel and kind of just has that one-track mind. You guys, he's out here on the map. He's played by Sean Gunn in the movie, who many of you will know was in the Guardians of the Galaxy MCU, so totally epic crossover here, I would think. Look at this, King Shark, gonna be eating that man. We're gonna increase the body count, am I right? I heard that was just like a, and again, this is maybe minor spoiler for someone that didn't know, but this is like in the trailers. It's kind of everywhere for anybody that's talking about it. Here, we need the woman to be a little bit shorter so we can see this. Oh my god. But yeah, like I think the running gag is just that King Shark is gonna like eat people, a lot of people, and so we definitely want that. But here we go. Who can Weasel take on, man? He's taking on this alien. Look at that. Quickly, and then you see, of course, he's kind of acting like a weasel, isn't he? He's like licking the back of his palm, licking the back of his hand, I guess. That's hilarious, dude. Like, I didn't even know that was actually going to be an interaction. Here's my Portal Sentries, but no, ladies and gentlemen, the Sentry from the Portal series getting eaten by King Shark. What? I guess it was because that was a source object. It's like the open Sentry was like the it must have had a source object of some kind of human. I need to go back and look at that. Absolutely nuts, King Shark. Why did you do it? Why did you do it? But of course, I'm sure King Shark's reaction to that would just be like, hand. Sure. Let's go with that. Absolutely incredible. If you guys want to see some of the other cast, put your requests down in the comments below. And I want to thank you so much for viewing.